Willie's podcast is presented by Beachmont Subaru. Every used vehicle purchased from Beachmont Subaru comes with free oil and filter changes as long as you own the vehicle. Also comes with a 152-point inspection, balance of 6 years, 100,000-mile warranty, roadside assistance, and a Carfax report. Now, here's Willie.
This is a special podcast presentation from 700WLW.com. This is Bill Cunningham on Demand.
I make a rich woman beg, and I make a good woman steal. I make an old woman blush, and I make a young girl squeal. I wanna be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone.
Sarah told him that the marriage was over.
Did he share with you what his response was?
Yes.
What was that response?
Nobody leaves me. Nobody ever leaves me, and I mean nobody.
All right, Billy Cunningham, we're going to have coming up in a few minutes edited testimony of Jennifer Crew, as edited by Jeff Henderson, because she's been on the witness stand with direct and cross almost 2.5 hours at this point, and the cross, we understand, is ongoing as I speak. So we're going to have Bill Reinhardt calling from the outside of the courtroom when they break. We also have coming up later Mark Crumbine, scheduled to be here right during the luncheon break, which will be between now and 1 o'clock. Then at 2 o'clock, Eric Dieters on criminal defense strategies and more. One might say that where was this woman during the second trial? Her testimony could have been available. The conversations took place before the second trial. But she said she was in fear of her life because Ryan Widmer threatened to kill her if she made public the conversations that he was having with her. And so she wanted to kind of wait until the results of the second trial, which could have resulted, let's face it, with a not guilty, double jeopardy would have attached, in which case none of the so-called confessions of Ryan Widmer would have had any impact whatsoever in the case. And also, it came out again, which has been confirmed repeatedly, that the two of them actually never met. In fact, it appears the first time they've been in the presence of each other was this morning. So I'm sure the efforts of Ryan Widmer will be, during the cross-examination, that this woman lied, that she's been convicted of crimes involving, in a sense, dishonesty and fraud. The problem is, the defense has, is that there's objective indicators that indicates there were numerous telephone calls and texts and things of that character between Jennifer Crew and Ryan Widmer that went on for about 6 or 7 months. So it was Ryan Widmer who chose to, in a sense, associate with Jennifer Crew. And she has provided the one thing that has been lacking in trials 1 and 2, which, of course, is a motive. It's not required in any criminal case to prove motive, because motivation is only known to the actor, to the person committing the offense. And you can't jump inside someone's brain and find out what the motive is, because you never have to prove that in a criminal case anyway. But jurors and all of us would like to know a motive. For someone who went from a happy, loving employee of the Warren County Conventions and Visitors Bureau, working with Shirley Bonekemper, who seemingly was a happy, healthy 27-year-old doing a normal life function, having been married 117 days. He goes from happy, healthy, joyous, married, new home for the family, planning children, to a vicious murderer and a snap of a finger. So the critical part for the state, and John Arnold in this case, is that they appear now to have the motive. The motive was that Sarah Widmer was going to leave Ryan Widmer because she discovered that he had an affair on her when Sarah was gone with Sarah's mother, and also had cruised some porn sites dealing with menage a trois and related matters. Now, that's a little bit important now because, according to Jennifer Crew, some of the discussions with Ryan Widmer involved Ryan Widmer encouraging Jennifer Crew to come from Ohio, to come from Iowa to Ohio, and bring a girlfriend to have menage a trois available. So that is injurious, shall we say, to the cause of Ryan Widmer. the motive is now laid upon the table. It's a motive as old as the hills and as fresh as tomorrow, which is jealousy inside of a marriage. And the pride a man has in being married to a woman, and the fact that he can do anything he wants and she can't complain about it because he's the man and you're the woman. The motive is that she was going to leave him, destroy his world, embarrass himself before his friends. And so things began with an argument all day. He was drinking, in fact, drinking heavily. That he was the one that went upstairs to the bedroom to get away from her. She came upstairs. The argument, vicious arguments, continued. She got undressed to take a bath, to soak, to kind of calm down. And that while in the bathroom, as the argument ensued and the rage built, he took his fist and punched her hard in the chest. That she fell, hit her head on the bathtub. And then, according to Jennifer Crew, Ryan Widmer then kind of, quote, blacked out, unquote, which is when the murder took place. Many murderers use blacking out as an excuse to commit an offense, as to say as if it wasn't me, it was my evil twin, Ryan Widmer. It wasn't me that did it. I blacked out. I don't know what I did. Defendants often say in murder cases, I blacked out. I don't know what happened next. Well, according to the prosecution, what happened next is that the bathtub had water in it, probably to the distance of about 6 to 8 inches, that she was unconscious, that he was easily available to put her in a position where her belly, her navel was against the edge of the tub, her head was in the tub, her skin outside of the tub, that he took his hands around her throat, put his body on top of her body. He was clothed. She was not. She was unconscious or fighting to regain consciousness. He put his fingers on her neck, stuck the head underwater, and kept the head underwater for several minutes until she drowned. And that explains why the hair was wet and the skin was dry. He blacked out. A typical response of a murderer who cannot face the facts that he viciously murdered the woman he loved. It could not have been me. I blacked out. It was my evil twin that did it. Therefore, I still have self-worth. I can look at myself and shave. I can look at myself in the mirror. It's a typical response of a murderer is that I blacked out. According to Jennifer Crew, she supplied that. And then when he discovered what his evil twin had done, killed the woman that he loved, he panicked, waited a few minutes, made the 911 call, came up with this ruse that she was floating face down in the bathtub, which, of course, she wasn't. What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Because what he said on the 911 call, which we're going to play for you later, did not line up with the objective evidence as found by EMS and emergency personnel. Didn't line up at all. Couldn't have happened that way. So, unless, which is possible, the defense has a witness that says, Jennifer Crew told me she was going to go to Ohio and lie because she wanted to become famous. Unless they got that person, something irrefutable, Ryan Widmer has a serious problem. Motive has been provided. There's keys of her testimony confirmed by objective sources, such as the length of the 911 call, the fact that the confessional call was made to Jennifer Crew's fiancé's cell phone and not to Jay Crew's cell phone. And then when, right after the confession took place, Jennifer Crew told her fiancé in Iowa what Ryan had said. And then the fiancé of Jay Crew said, I told you he blanking killed her. And that witness is available almost like a res gestae, which is an extemporaneous statement that someone makes outside of court to get around the hearsay exception. So we can talk about res gestae, a principle well known to Jeff Henderson. But nonetheless, if someone blurts out something outside of court, offered for the truth of the matter asserted, it is admitted into evidence because one does not have the time to conjure up some subterfuge. It must be the truth. So there's key steps along the way that indicate that Jennifer Crew is telling the truth. which is the motive, how it was done, plus the menage a trois, which is a French term. Many of us know what it means. And that hooks into the prosecutor's theory that he cheated on his young wife, that no one leaves me, that his favorite group is Motley Crue, You're All I Need is his favorite song, according to Jennifer Crew, is given to him by Ryan Widmer. And friends of Ryan Widmer know that the favorite group of Ryan Widmer is Motley Crue. And a line in this song says the following, according to Vince Neil, my good friend of Motley Crue, says, quote, "You're all I need, make you only mine. I loved you, so I set you free. I had to take your life." Quote, "I had to take your life," which is Ryan Widmer's song. He killed her because he loved her. He could not stand the fact that Sarah was going to leave to embarrass him. And in a rage, he killed her, concealed the crime, and concocted a story which does not fit with the facts. Guilty or not guilty now? I'm waiting, though, for that moment in cross-examination where the defense collapses the testimony of Jennifer Crew. I'm waiting for that moment. It's happened in my life as a criminal defense attorney, where everything looked good on direct examination, everything fit like pieces in a puzzle, but then upon cross, by yours truly, all of a sudden the defense, is key witness, loses all credibility because there's something the defense knows. And that cross-examination is happening right now. So let's continue now with your thoughts, and we are editing Jennifer Crew's critical testimony. We're going to play her in her own words for you and have legal experts on all day. A bombshell has exploded in the Ryan Widmer case, and it's on top of the criminal defense table. Bill Cunningham, the great American, on News Radio 700 WOW. Okay, we have about 12 to 15 minutes of the critical parts of Jennifer Crew's testimony. We're going to play about 5 minutes now, then come back on the other side and play more. Hit it.
And he was crying, and he was saying some things.
Could you understand what he was saying initially?
Initially, I could not.
What did you ask him to do, or did you tell him anything?
I said, Ryan, it's okay. I had told him in an earlier email if he ever needed to talk, no matter what time it was, I was there for him.
Right. So what did the defendant say next?
I did it. I did it. I killed Sarah. I did it.
Did you believe that when he said it? What was your reaction when he said that?
My heart fell.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
My heart fell that I had been believing this person for so long, and now here he was telling me that he actually did what he was accused of doing.
Did you respond to what he said to you?
Yes, I did.
How did you respond?
I thought what he meant was that he didn't do enough to save her life that night at first. I thought that he was meaning that he didn't do enough CPR, and I said, Ryan, you tried to save her. You tried to do all you could.
And did he respond to those comments?
Yes, he did.
What was his response?
He said, no, Jen, listen to me. I did it.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Again, I was shocked. I just didn't know what to do. I sat there and listened. I'm taking counseling in school, and that's what you learn. You just sit there and listen.
And did you say anything or offer anything to him at that point?
I told him I'm here.
Now, this conversation lasted approximately 45 minutes to an hour, by your recollection?
Yes, it did.
Objection is leading. The motion to strike the question.
How long did the conversation last, to your recollection?
45 minutes to an hour.
Was there an exchange of words or verbal comments the entire time?
I know.
What else were there?
There were a lot of points where it was silent, where he was crying or sobbing. or he would be going,
Did you try to calm him down?
A couple of times I did. I said, "It's okay, Ryan, I'm right here."
Did he tell you anything else during that call?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
He said that Sarah had found out that he had cheated on her when she went away with her mom.
Did he tell you what he meant by cheated on her?
No, he did not.
Did he tell you who he cheated on her with?
No, he did not.
Or how he cheated on her?
No, he did not.
All right. What else did he tell you about Sarah?
He said that they were in the living room and they were arguing about his pornography. She had found pornography. They were arguing about him cheating on her, about his drinking, and about his smoking.
Did he tell you how she found out about the pornography?
No, he did not.
Okay. And when did this conversation, this argument take place?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. The argument he was describing for you, did that occur on the evening of Sarah's death?
Yes.
Do you know what evening it occurred on?
Yes, I do.
What evening was that?
The night Sarah died.
Right. And where did the argument take place?
In their living room. In their living room.
All right. Did he tell you anything else about the argument in the living room?
Yes.
What else did he tell you?
He said the more they argued, the more he drank.
Then what did he tell you?
He said that he had to get away, and so he went upstairs.
Did he tell you what he did when he went upstairs?
He laid down on their bed and started watching the football game.
All right, we're going to continue with this. This is the direct examination of Jennifer Crew by John Arnold of the Warren County Prosecutor's Office. Much more remains on 700 WLW. Of course, we all need to wait until all the testimony is in. Possibly the defense has a girlfriend of Jennifer Crew from Iowa that says, Jennifer told me she was going to go to Ohio and lie to become famous. Is that possible, Russ Jackson? Is that possible? That's possible. So let's wait. And do they have the girl or the woman that Ryan Widmer had the affair with? What if the state, in Sir Rebuttal, brings in the paramour who says, yes, Ryan told me that Sarah was gone and that we had a sex affair at Motel 6. It was hot, sweaty love on some August night. What happens then? So I would urge you not to form an opinion based upon part of the testimony until all the evidence is in, because you never know at the end what might happen. All right, let's continue now. This is J. Crew, a.k.a. Jennifer Crew, relating to you what Ryan Widmer related to her in this late-night confession. Hit it.
Did he tell you what he did when he went upstairs?
He laid down on their bed and started watching the football game.
And how long did he stay? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Where was Sarah at when he was watching the football game?
He said she was downstairs.
Did he ever tell you that she came upstairs at some point?
Yes, he did.
And what did the defendant tell you happened when she came upstairs?
She was getting ready for the bath. And he was in the bedroom watching the football game. And she came from the bathroom into the bedroom.
Did he tell you what she said to him or did at that point in time?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. What happened then, according to Ryan?
Ryan said that the argument continued. That she kept saying she can't do this anymore, being married.
What did he do?
Objection. Sustained.
What did he tell you he did?
He said he just wanted to get away, and so he pushed her out of the way, and so he could get up off the bed, and she pushed him back.
Then did he tell you what happened after that?
At this point, he was crying. He was kind of inaudible for a little while. And he said they were in the bathroom.
Did Ryan Widmer tell you what happened when they were in the bathroom?
Yes.
What is that? What did he tell you happened?
He said that Sarah told him that the marriage was over.
Did he share with you what his response was?
Yes.
What was that response?
Nobody leaves me. Nobody ever leaves me, and I mean nobody.
Did Ryan Widmer tell you what happened next between he and Sarah in the bathroom? Would you tell us that, please?
Yes.
What happened?
He punched her in her chest.
Did he describe how he did that?
He hit her in the chest.
Mm-hmm. Did he say what happened to Sarah?
And she fell backwards and hit her head.
And did he tell you what happened, or was he able to describe for you what happened after that, immediately after that?
Yes.
What did he tell you next?
He knelt down and he said, Jen, I blacked out. I blacked out.
Did he tell you how long he blacked out?
No.
Did he tell you what happened to him when he blacked out?
No.
Did he tell you anything about what he saw or observed after he stopped, quote, blacking out?
Yes.
What did he see or observe next?
Sarah's head was wet.
Did he tell you anything else about her, where she was at?
On the floor.
And what was her condition, according to Ryan Widmer?
Sarah was not breathing.
Did he do anything at that point, according to what he told you?
He cleaned up the water. He wiped up the water.
We have a foundation for what?
Well, it's his statements.
I'm going to start with a ruling objection. Can you your voice up a little bit, Scrooge?
Yes.
Did he tell you how he cleaned up the water?
No.
Did he tell you what he used to clean up the water?
No, he did not.
Did he tell you if he hid any towels or anything of that nature during your conversation?
Standing objection. It's a former question.
All right. Did he tell you what he did with the items he used to clean up the water?
No, he did not.
Did you ask him?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I just thought he needed somebody to listen.
All right. So what, according to the defendant, Ryan Widmer, was he doing at that point after he cleaned up the water?
He was freaking out.
Did he explain what he meant by that to you?
He knew that he had done something that he shouldn't have done.
Did he tell you anything else about what he was thinking at the time?
Yes.
What else was he thinking about? Or what else did he tell you? I'm sorry.
He told me that he was thinking about how to cover what he had just done.
And did he offer any further explanation of that or tell you how he came to that plan?
Yes, he did.
What was that? He told that Ryan Widmer told you.
He had watched a detective show in Forensic Files that depicted a gentleman and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Rabinowitz.
Did he tell you the name of that show?
Yes, he did. And I wrote it down at the time because I knew that was something I would never remember.
Why did you write it down?
Because I knew that was something that I wouldn't never remember in its entirety because it wasn't something I was familiar with.
Did you take any other notes about this conversation?
No, I did not.
I'm going to approach with the court's permission and show you what's been marked as Exhibit 77. Ask you if you can identify that.
Yes.
What is that?
And this is what I wrote down the night that I had the night of the conversation with Ryan.
What's on the back of it?
Oh, it was one of those infomercial things where you can order. It was like diet medicine on there, and that piece of paper was like on my bedside table, and so I just flipped it over and wrote on that other side.
And I know you didn't initially locate that and provide it to law enforcement. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Why is that?
I had just moved when I decided to contact the prosecutor's office, and this was still in a box that I had yet to unpack. And as soon as I found it, I called the prosecutor's office and turned it over to them.
All right, Billy Cunningham, let's continue now. This is the direct examination of Jennifer Crew at the hands of Prosecutor Arnold of the Warren County Prosecutor's Office. And from looking at the various blog sites, the cross-examination is continuing, but according to the 3 blogs that I'm monitoring, at this point, the defense, Jay Clark, has not landed a glove on Jennifer Crew, according to the blog sites I'm looking at. Let's continue with more. We have about 10 more minutes on 700 WLW. According to a blog I'm reading now, which happened 2 minutes ago in cross-examination, Crew did not include part about Sarah had said she was leaving in her notes for investigators. Jennifer Crew says she didn't need to put it in the notes. Crew did not tell police investigators Sarah was upset or leaving. Quote, I was talking about a man murdering his wife. I was upset, shaking, unquote. Crew, quote, I was hoping that by coming forward, Sarah's family would get closure and move forward, unquote. So a lot of what she is saying on the witness stand is not contained in the notes that she kept, nor did she tell police investigators things she's now saying. Let's continue.
Going back to the bathroom, did Ryan Widmer tell you anything else about what he did that night?
Yes.
What else did he tell you?
He said that he picked up his phone to call 911 and it died. And so he saw Sarah's phone sitting there, and he used Sarah's phone to make the 911 call.
Did he tell you anything about what he did during the 911 call?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you that he did during the 911 call?
He did not give Sarah CPR. He breathed into, he had the phone down and he breathed to make it sound like he was giving her CPR.
Did he say why he didn't give her CPR?
He knew she was already gone. She hadn't been breathing for quite a while.
Did he tell you anything about how he felt at that point?
He said he thought he was a monster.
And how did you respond?
I said, Ryan, you're not a monster. You just lost control for a minute. I know that you really love Sarah.
Did he respond to that?
Not really. He just was crying.
Did he tell you anything else about the 911 call itself?
That he ran downstairs so that he can make sure that it was on the 911 tape that the house was secure.
Did he tell you anything about what he was thinking at that point in time? Anything else?
Just that he was going to get in trouble. He was thinking about himself, he said.
Did he tell you anything about, did Ryan Widmer tell you anything about what transpired when either the police or the firemen arrived at their house?
Yes.
What was that?
He was concerned that there was a trash can that was turned over in the bathroom that he had forgot to pick up. So he was concentrating on that. And he said that their dog was going crazy, was just going crazy with the paramedics and the people in the house.
Did Ryan Widmer tell you if he went to the hospital with his wife that night?
He said he went to the hospital.
Did he tell you anything about what happened at the hospital?
Yes, he did.
What was that?
He said that a nurse asked him questions, and he answered them. And immediately he knew that he had screwed up.
Did he tell you how he screwed up?
He had told the nurse that he found Sarah the opposite way than he had told the 911 operator.
Did he tell you anything else about what happened at the hospital?
No.
Did Ryan Widmer tell you anything else about what happened immediately following leaving the hospital?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you?
He said that he was allowed to go back to his home and get some of his possessions before he went to a relative's house to stay.
Did he tell you anything about the days which followed or about Sarah's funeral?
And he said that he was in jail during her funeral.
At any point in time, did he discuss who made financial arrangements for the funeral?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you?
He told me that Sarah's mom paid for it.
How long did this conversation go on the 26th?
About 45 minutes to an hour.
At the conclusion of that conversation, or as it was going on, did you ever discuss with him whether you would report this or tell somebody about the conversation?
I promised him I would never tell anybody what he had told.
Why did you make that promise to him?
I had told him that throughout all of our conversations.
And did he respond or tell you anything in response to what you told him?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
He said, "I hope not, because I wouldn't want you to be where Sarah's at."
And you didn't tell investigators about that when you first talked to them, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you share that information the first time you were interviewed?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I was talking, about ready to say that, and the investigators asked me a question about something that I had said previously, and I lost my train of thought. At the end of the interview, the investigator told me if I were to think of anything that I did not share with them at that time to please call and let them know.
See, I want to break in here because this is from a blog site which is tracking her cross-examination now in real time. This happened about an hour and a half ago, what you're hearing. Crew, a quote, "I was hoping that by coming forward, Sarah's family would get closure and move forward." Clark, J. Clark, "So did you give investigators all details that you had?" She said yes. See, the cops made 3 trips to Iowa. So according to Crew, she gave the cops everything she had. In other words, she told the cops everything you're hearing. Next question. From J. Clark, quote, "You didn't tell investigators that Ryan punched Sarah in the chest. Is that true?" Crew says, "I don't recall if I told him or not." Clark says, "It's not in your notes." She says, "No." Clark asked about items Ryan used to clean up. Crew says he didn't tell her. He said he cleaned up the water. Crew, he obviously didn't leave them in a pile on the floor. Clark asked forensic files show Crew says Ryan told he thought of stuff to do when cleaning up. Crew wrote down, but notes not dated. Let me go to the next one here. This is 3 minutes ago. Crew did not mention forensic files in her notes for investigators. Crew said she made sure house secure after confession call. Did not tell this to investigators or put in notes. So Clark is pointing out that the chunk of Jennifer Crew's testimony about punching Sarah and other aspects of the fight that night was not told by Jennifer to the police who made 3 trips to Iowa, because the defense has the notes of the investigators. Does this undermine her credibility? Just a little bit? Bill Cunningham, 700 WLW.